Hello everyone, my name is Ignacio Barrios. I'm the CEO of Kido Dynamics. We're a startup based in Switzerland, and we are providing big data analytics for telecom operators companies. We are partnering with Altice in Portugal through the platform Altice Analytics, where our solution is readily available for all the customers and partners that might want access to solutions such as mobility, retail, or tourism. Kido Dynamics has been providing big data analytics for more than 4 years. With presence in more than 10 countries, we had a very clear idea when we decided to expand our business into Portugal that Altice was the right partner. Altice has the largest market share in the country, and this makes a difference when it comes to the level of accuracy that our technology can provide in this market. The partnership was a clear win-win situation since we would be leveraging the massive data that Altice is continuously generating, and Altice would benefit from the technology and the software that Kido Dynamics has been developing over the last few years. As you all might know, the world is changing at a speed never seen before. We're experiencing changes almost every day. From the pandemic perspective, from the mobility perspective, from the tourism perspective, everything is affecting our life on a massive way. In order to better understand how things are going and how things might look like in the future, it is paramount to obtain the right information at the right time. And for that purpose, data is key. But there is a lot of hype around what's going on. It is said very often that data is the new oil. But the question is that from the user perspective, you cannot fill your car with oil. You need fuel. So data, in the same way as the oil, need to be extracted, refined, transport, and served at the right place at the right moment in order to make the right decisions. So this is very important to be considered when it comes to not only analyze data, but make better and more informed decisions with that data. So data is important for today's society from that perspective, but also from the perspective of what we are going to do with that data and how we can enhance our future and improve the life of our citizens through those decisions that will base on the data that we are analyzing today. So the next time when you get a set of data and you decide or you have to make a decision based on that, think about it. How difficult was to obtain that data and how you might increase the way of life of the people through this data. The data generated today comes from different sources. Your computer is continuously generating data on the performance that is providing in the way you are typing on your keyboard or how many times you are connecting your webcam. In the same way, your mobile phone, your car, or any other device that is connected to internet is generating data that provides insights about the performance or about the usage that you are doing of a certain device. The main difference that provides telecom operator data or telecom operator metadata is that this information is individual. It's associated to the mobile phone of every user, and it helps not only to understand the performance of the telecom operator network, but also to obtain on a fully anonymized and aggregated basis information that help other players to better understand how people are moving on a given place. For example, where is the best location to open a new store, or what's the next big place that will be visited by tourists during the summer season. This information merged with other information provided from other devices such as IoT related to the temperature measure, air quality, or traffic conditions are also helping cities to increase the understanding of how people behave and how this information can help them to better manage and increase the quality of life of the citizens. When it comes to analyze how people are moving, where they're staying, where they are coming from, or where they go to, it is important to be consistent and to be continuous in the way we analyze this data. That's why telcometadata is not only useful from a pure economic perspective. Obviously, A telecom operator utilize this data to invoice you depending on how often you utilize your mobile phone. But this data could also be utilized, for example, to better plan your city. What is the best place to open a new metro line? What is the best place for a new bus stop? How often a given road get collapsed due to increasing traffic? All that information analyzed in the proper manner and served in the right way will help decision makers to invest the budget and in a very efficient manner and increase the throughput of the results that will obtain with the taxes that are generated in a given city. But this is not only about traffic. We can talk also about tourism. How was last season in the region of Faro? With telecom operator data, we can understand not only how many people stay on the hotels, which is an information that could be gathered easily through the hotel owners, but we can also understand how many people utilize non-regulated apartments, for example, such as Airbnb. In the same manner, we can understand what is the most crowded time of the day in a given place of the city, which help authorities to increase the number of people that will survey the area or increase the number of police that will need to be in the surrounding area. All these decisions based on data become much more efficient and much more effective. In the recent times, and as part of our Data for Good initiatives, we have been working with multiple players in the COVID-19 monitoring effect. COVID-19, as an epidemic or as a pandemic, it's been incredibly affected by the mobility of the people. The virus doesn't jump from one place to another by itself. We are the vector of that virus. And hence, it is clear that the mobility of people from one place to another has a huge impact in the way that this virus will spread. Some of the measures that have been undertaken in different countries, such as Spain, has demonstrated that limiting the mobility of people or controlling to a certain extent that mobility might reduce the spreading of the pandemic. At the same time, the analysis of the different variants, such as Omicron recently or Beta and Delta previously, can help us to define better strategies to take samples of the people or to test people in certain areas where the spread of one of these variants might be faster due to the mobility of the people. In the particular case of Spain or Portugal, the city of Madrid or the city of Lisbon, they act as cores of this effect because they are hyper-connected cities. Just an example, almost everyone in Portugal will be at least once in Lisbon once a year. That makes that anything that happened in Lisbon will spread very quickly to the rest of the country. So from that perspective, obviously, it doesn't make sense to block the whole city in a while, but it might be helpful to increase the number of tests in Lisbon compared with other cities that have less mobility. So we can see how data, in this case, help authorities to reduce the impact that the pandemic might have in a given place and also allocate resources in a much more efficient manner. On a more practical and business-related manner, we can talk about different use cases that we have developed along with Altice recently in Portugal, and that might illustrate how telecom operator data can help companies to improve their businesses. On the retail side, we are providing data, for example, to different retailers that will help them to understand the amount of people that is gathering in different locations. So in order to determine what are the best places to open a new store or to install a new bancomat, it is critical to know what are the most crowded areas and at what times of the day. So if we have to go street by street counting the number of people that are gathering in all the streets of Lisbon or Porto or Lagos, that might take months in order to get that information. With Altice Geoanalytics platform, this can be done in a couple of clicks. So in a matter of seconds, we can get access to hundreds of points where we will very easily and intuitively understand how many people were gathering here yesterday, where do they come from, what is the purchase power of these people. That's an important feature in this case, because obviously the buyers of Louis Vuitton are not the same that the buyers of Zara or other products. At the same time, a place where increasing number of tourists might be of special importance for certain retailers compared with other areas where most of the visitors are residents. So all that data can dramatically increase, improve, and get a better understanding of the performance of a business. And that's something that can be done easily. In the same way, in the case of out-of-home marketing, it's incredibly important to understand where people are actually based or where they are actually passing by. If you are an advertiser, you want to be sure that your message reach the right people at the right point at the right time. And this is the basics of marketing. In this case, when we are talking about out-of-home marketing, we are talking about the posters and billboards that you might be encountering and finding when you are walking through the city. So how you can be sure that the message in that billboard is reaching the right people, the right demographics that you might be or you might want to buy your brand. It is clear that you don't know where the youngsters are passing by or where are the elderly people. With Altice Geoanalytics, this is an easy-to-go solution. You can very efficiently identify what are the best places to send your message at the right time and at the right place. Is it better this corner for youngsters or elderly people in the morning or in the afternoon? But this is not about just one corner. Bear in mind that when we are talking about out-of-home marketing, we might be talking about thousands of different assets across the country. So this is something that only is possible with very efficient platform managing huge amount of data, such as Altice Geoanalytics. So in that regard, if you want to send the right message to the right person at the right time, it's important to know how to make it and where to make it.
Altice Empresas, empresas que mudam Portugal.